Justin Gaethje took on Rafael Fiziev in their rematch. I guess you weren't able to watch the fight, but were you surprised by the outcome? And if not, do you think that maybe the 7-day Rafael Fiziev taking on 7 days probably impacted the fight?
Of course.
And just kind of your overall sentiments of what
I
the
mean,
fight.
just at the end of the day, right? When you got a great fighter like Justin Gaethje who locked in for war, that's been training this whole time, that's gonna be a hard mountain to climb, bro. When you talking about on 7 days, whatever notice, or what was it? Actually, was it 7 days?
I think it was 7. I think he took it on.
Either way, you know,
I think he
Dan
officially
Hooker
accepted
right.
7 days.
Right. So Dan Hooker was supposed to be the original opponent, right? He had a broken hand in the first place. But you know, with Rafael Fiziev, he looked like he was in great shape, but it's just yet again, bro. It's just like if you're not in fight shape, because being in shape and being in fight shape is two different things, right? And especially if you go into war with a person like Justin Gaethje, and he knows that, right? Because they've been in a fight before where you know Justin Gaethje won that one as well. So yeah, he was dealing with a lot, but I heard it was a great fight. You know, they both won fight of the night. You know, they both got $50K for their performances, man. So you know, it is what it is. But I feel like it's very well known that if you're not in the best shape in the world to become a world champion, it's probably not the best move to take that fight. You know, your potential to win in that fight is probably very small.
Got you. Well, somebody like yourself has taken fights on short notice. So.
But I was fight ready because I would say that right now, right? Since you're already saying that. Every fight that I've taken short notice, I've always been preparing myself for that fight.
Of course.
Even if it's not for that person, I was always preparing myself for every situation to be ready, right?
Towards
but if they call me right now, hey, Buck, you fight Bilal right now. Like, shit. I could say yes, but the thing is, what's the probability of me winning, right? Are you going to be ready for that?
True. So, no, I was just saying it's interesting to hear actual perspective for somebody who has been in what it takes to be ready for
right. Because it's a scope, right? Yeah. People don't look at it as if, the preparation and the training matters. They just like, are you ready for the fight, right? And that's the only thing that I hate. A lot of guys will bash you if you don't take that last minute opportunity, right? But it's just like, why do it at the last minute when we can have actual preparation, both of us, right, to make sure that this performance in this fight is one of the best things seen. Because I love it when fighters be like, oh, he was scared to fight me. Like, no, nigga, you only gave me 7 days to prepare. Like, what the fuck is going on? Give me 7 weeks, nigga, right? And it's not about being scared or nothing like that, but fight me at my best,
It's a sport, right? It's a sport. As much as a fight, too, it's a sport as well. Mm-hmm. You guys are professional athletes. You train to get a job done. Not that everything has to be perfect, but you want to be somewhere within your scope to be ready for a certain opponent. And I think sometimes that gets devalued. But with that being said, I want to give Justin Gaethje credit for winning, but let me give Rafael Fiziev a lot of love for the way he handled himself in that fight. For you to take a fight on 7 days' notice shows what type of character and how much of a real fighter you are. That's number one. But when you want to fight somebody, and you probably could speak to this, in a rematch, somebody you already lost to, it was very close the first time. I think 5 strikes separated both fights, an average of 5 strikes separate winner from loser. If you think about it, that's how close it was. Mm-hmm. For you to do that on 7 days' notice shows how tough and how much you believe in yourself. And for him to get dropped early in the fight, for him to, continue to deliver damage.
I heard that uppercut was nasty.
It was very slick setup, too, because Gaethje kept ducking. Mm-hmm. And Fiziev ducks to land his own uppercut. Justin bumps, taps the head, throws an uppercut on the other side. Very slick setup. But for him to do that, I give him a lot of credit. I think the world is, as much as it is a loss, that's not really a loss in my eyes.
It's sad. No, that's a loss, nigga. That's
no.
L to L, right?
No. My point is, most people are not going to be successful, and for you to make it that competitive on 7 days' notice,
I got you.
He came with a different strategy. Gaethje even said he came with a different strategy than he did before. He went to takedowns early in the fight. He had a lot of success. He had. I'm
glad you're saying that, right? Well, if you're doing stuff like that, you're gonna have to make adjustments, right?
He did, yeah,
exactly. So
he wasn't successful,
right? But regardless, though, you more successful,
yeah.
Right?
It was a good fight,
because you made those adjustments, right? Because knowing that I'm not in the best shape, so I might have to take this fight in a different type of way and use different tactics, right, to allow this fight to be a lot more exciting, because if he probably came out the same way he did in that first fight where he was in shape, but he took a lot of damage, Justin probably would have got him out of there in the first round. Right?
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. And the fact that he got dropped as bad as he did, and him not necessarily probably being in the greatest shape that he would be when he fights, for him to get back up and then make it competitive for the rest of the rounds, I think I probably had the fight score, 29-28. I think it was unanimous decision for Justin. I think I gave Fiziev 1 round. But for him to even have that amount of success and the strike total be that close, it looked like in the 3rd round, Fiziev started off doing his thing
Right.
and possibly gonna win the fight. And Justin Gaethje seemed to have more cardio than him in the second half of the 3rd round. It seemed like Fiziev probably put everything into that first half of that round and wasn't able to really push for the end. And Gaethje took advantage. Not Gaethje's fault when somebody decides to take the fight. It doesn't matter why they're not able to perform up to their abilities, and we don't know even if that's the case. Even if Fiziev has 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, to 10 weeks to prepare. Rather, will he be able to do that? So I'm going to what ifs, but I just have a lot of credit for Fiziev for being able to respond as well as he did to adversity.
Well,
but
shout out to him.
With that being said, what's next for Justin Gaethje? What do you think that he mentioned he has no desire in Dustin Poirier for Dustin's retirement fight? He said he doesn't want to do it to their families. He said they already been through it twice. They won and one. We just call it even.
Right.
He mentioned a potential matchup with Islam. That still excites him. What do you think is the next for Justin Gaethje?
I think that's a beautiful fight, right? Allowing him to fight for the belt against Islam, right? How that fight go, right? That's a whole nother conversation. But I would love for Justin Gaethje to go ahead and run into that belt, because he been one of those top fighters for the longest time. Only fought for the belt. Once or twice? He got the interim
once against
Habib. All right, but never again though, right? So yeah.
No. Did he fight Oliveira for the belt?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he got a second opportunity.
Well, this be the 3rd. You know what I'm saying? So 3rd opportunity, man, to fight for a belt. I think it'll be an intriguing matchup between both of them. I like Justin Gaethje, man, and what he's been doing lately. And I'm sure he didn't change some things up, ever since he lost to, Charles Oliveira and Habib. So, I'm sure he could put up a better, competition than, what he did with those other 2 guys with Islam.
I think if I'm him, I'm taking a different perspective. I'm begging for a fight with Arman Sarukian. You already have Islam and Topuria supposed to meet up for their fight. And if I'm him, I don't want to wait. Lightweight has been so competitive in anything that could happen. You see, which we're going to get to in a little bit, Mauricio Ruffy kind of coming into play and all these guys. It just seems like if Paddy Pimblett beats Dustin Poirier, if that goes on to happen, we don't know what's going to happen. So for him, I think he's number 3 in the world. I would try to do whatever I can to make sure I make my imprint, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 4, 5, 6 months. I don't think that he's done enough definitively over Charles Oliveira, over Arman Sarukian, just to leapfrog after. No, but listen.
I ain't saying that.
After Islam fights Ilia Topuria, I don't know if that's the case. If I'm him, I would not feel comfortable. Being number 3, you beat a guy who was ranked number 11. Does that move you necessarily? And he took it on short notice.
I'm not gonna say.
I don't know if that moves the needle enough.
You deserve it, right? But I think because of who you are, your fighting style is gonna always sell.
It's gonna be a banger.
It's always gonna be a sell. So that regardless of anything, that's why exactly. If I'm Justin Gaethje, I'm pushing for that belt. I ain't fuck Arman so he can throw his back out again, right? And then with the Charles Oliveira, well, you already seen what happened with that fight. So my thing is, just be that new blood. Islam never fought you, right? You never fought Islam, so just be that new fresh name, and you always know it's gonna sell. You always know it's gonna sell.
And one thing I say, I love the mentality, because I think at the presser, he said somebody offered him a donut. He said, "Nah, I got to run tomorrow. I'm getting ready for Islam." So he has that mindset.
Oh, so it's already in his head. See, I didn't know that.
He has that mindset, which I respect. But if I'm Trevor Whitman, right, that's his coach, I'm gonna say to him, if we don't, I like the mindset. If we don't, we gotta take whatever. We gotta make sure we do our part, because Justin's getting older. I think he's 36, maybe 37. We can't wait 6 months on the shelf. You know how like some guys will sit and wait and be like, "Oh, okay, I just wait till the division settles." I don't think he has that kind of time.
I think he do though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it's who he is, right? If anything, the UFC gonna rush that, right? Now I don't know, because the thing is,
you see Michael Chandler. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, but Islam not Conor.
No. I understand that.
So no. But that's the reason why that fight never happened, because Conor was never coming back. Islam would be more than happy to have
He fight
Justin
Gaethje,
Gaethje, right?
He fight Gaethje.
In my personal opinion, he would take a Justin Gaethje over Topuria.
I agree.
He would, right?
No, I agree. I agree with that.
And my thing is, Topuria got to work Prove that you a
Nah,
155.
he ain't got to work at all. They talking about that fight is already.
He gotta prove
We'll
you can even handle 155, bro.
We gonna discuss it, but he finna get it.
Get this man.
He already vacated his belt.
I don't care who. I don't care about
He got the lottery ticket. We gonna
fact,
talk about it.
Who Patty supposed to fight next? It's Michael Chandler, right?
Yeah.
Patty, get Chandler out of there. If I'm Patty, I'm calling for Topor.
We gonna discuss.
No, we discussing right now.
No. We gonna discuss it anyway.
Always breaking me down, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this shit out, dog.